Hey everybody, welcome to Big Valley Living. You know what? We're in the mood for some nice hot soup tonight. So I'm going to make an old favorite, cabbage soup, and I like to put a little bit of hamburger in it. So stick around. This is going to be an instant pot meal that takes about 15 minutes. Probably took me about 5 minutes to prep. So it's a really easy thing that you can have and then have a few lunches after you're done. And you can tailor it to however much you want to make at any given time. The ingredient list is pretty straightforward. The star of the show is obviously cabbage, but I'm choosing to put a little bit of lean ground beef in this particular batch of soup. So I have exactly 1 pound of a lean ground beef. You don't need any meat at all. You could use ground turkey, ground chicken, whatever you prefer. But again, you don't need any meat at all if you don't want to. I also have 1 head of cabbage roughly chopped, and it ends up being probably about 9 cups. This was a 3-pound cabbage for reference before I took the core off and the 2 outer sets of leaves. Then of course I washed it and rough chopped it. This is about 4 cups of onion, again roughly chopped, because I want all these chunks of vegetables to be a part of the actual meal. We have about 2.5 cups of celery that I have cut into bite-sized pieces. Same with carrot, just over 2 cups of carrot. I'm going to use a bay leaf. I'm going to use 8 cups of beef broth, and if I need more, I will top it off with filtered water because you have to make sure that it covers everything in the Instant Pot before you put the cover on. And I also have about 5 good-sized cloves of garlic that I've just chopped up and diced. I didn't even mince these completely. One other thing I'm going to be using will be a little bit of olive oil because the ground beef is lean, and we're going to brown that with some onions and garlic before we add everything else. Salt, pepper, and the bay leaf, of course. So let's get started. All right, we're going to go ahead and start by sauteing the ground beef. So let's go ahead and start the Instant Pot. For reference, this is an 8-quart Instant Pot. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've already turned it on, and then I'm going to hit saute and start. I put about a tablespoon or so of extra virgin olive oil in there to make sure that the meat doesn't stick too badly. And now, sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. I'm going to go ahead and add the meat so that we can brown it. Doesn't take very long. And as soon as that meat gets probably about halfway done, I'm going to go ahead, I'm just rinsing out a bowl here. I'm going to go ahead and add all the garlic and some onion. I'm going to throw a little bit of pepper in here right now. This soup is going to have a really nice peppery flavor naturally from the cabbage. And, you know, I thought, oh, I could put mushrooms or something in there, but actually that would take away from flavor and everything. So I'm just going to break this meat up with this little handy dandy. Takes just a minute. Since it's mostly broken up, I don't want to break it all the way up. Yeah, we were talking about it. We hadn't made an Instant Pot meal for a while. We made some stew a couple weeks ago, and it was real good. And ever since I made the stew, I couldn't get my mind off of this cabbage soup. So that meat's about halfway done. This goes quickly. This is real time right now. And I'm hoping that there's not too much steam over the camera. That happens sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in the garlic. As you all know, I like to use fresh garlic, not the stuff out of the jar. make it smell instantly delicious in the instant pot. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and throw in some onion. JJ wanted me to make sure, because there are like 12,000 kinds of Instant Pots, this is an Instant Pot Duo Evo Plus. I think mostly the biggest thing is that it has more automatic settings for like slow cook, and it has a sous vide, which we've never even tried. It can make yogurt and stuff like that. We pretty much use it as a pressure cooker for soups and stews, and mac and cheese. Made a really good mac and cheese. You can check out that video. And our other one was our very first video, wasn't it? It was pepper steak. So good. We do have a little Instant Pot playlist. All right. I'm just going to soften these up. Then we're going to dump everything else in and get it going. You might be tempted right now to add more salt, but we're going to be adding 2 quarts of beef broth, and this has sodium in it. So try to keep yourself from adding too much salt. You can always add it after the fact. I'm going to throw in 1 bay leaf. And because cabbage is a little bit lighter than the carrots and the celery, I'm going to dump this in because I am going to hit the max fill. You're not supposed to pack everything down, but I'm going to have to pack a little bit. Because I don't want it to go over, and you see right there, there's a max fill PC. You might not actually be able to see it, but figured the heavier vegetables would just kind of see. Now I need to fill with water, liquid. So in we go with the beef broth. Ironically, we just canned our own beef bone broth today, but it just came out of the canner, and we had this store-bought beef broth that we need to use before restocking the pantry, and this is what most people are probably going to use anyway. And let me just, there we go. We're going to need just a little bit of water in here. Now, this is going to render off a lot of water because there are so many vegetables in it. So there we go. How's that look, JJ? It's a little over the line, but I'm not too concerned about it. Now what we are going to do is put our lid on. Make sure that your seal is on tight, that everything's clean, and see how it's all in there nice and tight. Now we're going to go ahead and put the lid on. And there's an arrow right here. You line it up with a little mark on your machine. Follow the instructions for your model. Then it's locked. And I want to make sure that it's on seal because we're not venting it. We want to build up that pressure. And then everything's clean. So we're all set now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set mine. I can't hit cancel to stop the saute. Then I'm going to pressure cook, and I'm going to set my time to custom, and 12 minutes is what the recipe calls for, so that's what we're going to do, and that was the default on my actual Instant Pot. So I'm at 12 minutes, pressure cook, start. I forgot like one of the most important things. So you need to have a can of diced tomatoes. We like these fire roasted tomatoes from Muir Glen. So anyway, what I did before it pressurized, I caught it. And I opened up the lid. We stopped it, canceled, opened up the lid, and removed 2 cups of the liquid that was in there, okay? So I just wanted to show you that's how much we took out, and then we put in this 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes with the juice. It all turned out well, and here, everybody, here is the final product. Oh, one other thing. We let it come down for 7 minutes off of pressure, and then we just went ahead and did a vent. We vented it at 7 minutes. So this looks absolutely gorgeous. That is exactly what I expected it to look like. And it smells amazing. This is super keto friendly, with the exception of the carrots, but I'm not gonna eat that many carrots. So enjoy this with your family, adjust accordingly. I do hope that you try it because it really does smell good. Look at that. Think about this. If you're not worried about carbohydrates, get yourself some crusty bread and dip it. If you are, you could still take some fresh Parmesan cheese and grate it over the top. This soup is great. If you want to keep it in the refrigerator to eat for lunch for a few days, 3 to 4 days max in your refrigerator. If you want to freeze it in your super cubes, there will be a link at the bottom of here if you're interested in those. Don't go more than 3 or 4 months, okay? You have a lot of fresh vegetables that will degrade in there, and so you don't want to keep that in your freezer for really too long. But you could have some ready-to-eat meals for a few weeks. Thank you for visiting Big Valley Living. We appreciate you coming by, and please share this with anybody that you think would enjoy this recipe. Give us a like. Likes are always good. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and check out our other Instant Pot meals and other keto meals. This is keto friendly, and I need to get back on that myself. So watch for a few more of those. And I'm looking up at JJ. Do you have anything to say, JJ?
See you later, everybody.
Be kind.